It's a little over a week after the race here, and it started tearing apart the motor. There she is. Driver's side's good. Passenger side, I found something, so I'm gonna flip it around and show you here. Hold on. See, like I said, the driver's side is fine. We got milkshake coming out of the coolant ports there in the epoxy. But as soon as I pulled the valve cover, right there, I don't know how well you can see it at all. Here. Get the magnet out. There she is. Where is it? She popped back out. So I'm going to retire these heads. Obviously, I don't think that's all of our problem, but it's definitely part of the problem. So I'll update when I get a little further in. Well, you can see everything on the driver's side here is looking good except for the milkshake coming up out of the holes there. So I'll take that part as a win. And over here, you can see that it burned a little up there and it burned a little down here. The gasket is definitely warped, so the head's definitely warped. The rest of the epoxy looks okay. So it's burnt out that much. I've got a rebuild kit coming for the turbo, but it's definitely way too much. I mean, it's hurt. So yeah, here's the driver's side gasket. Nice little bend in there. Sorry, passenger side. This is the driver's side. Driver's side's looking good. Still nice and straight. You can see where gas has escaped. So that was our dead cylinder. That's what was making her sound all funky. The valve was probably hanging open a little bit too, since it had the freeze plug underneath it. But I don't see any witness marks on the pistons, so that's a good sign. So we're gonna go with that. Probably just pull the heads off of that now. Get some more head gaskets and throw her back together again. Hopefully the rebuild kit for that guy is coming quick. Waiting for Jamie up at PFI to give me a call and say that it's here. And I'll pull it apart and fix that real fast. Shouldn't take more than a couple hours. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Alright guys, I just installed my ARP head studs that I got from heel to toe. We had a little problem where some of my parts looks like they were removed from the box by the US Postal Service. But heel toe, great customer service, fixed the problem, and now we are another step closer to having her ready again. No more head lift issues. Here we took the heads to Gun Automotive and had them deck them. So now they're good and flush. Not too shabby. I'm going to get it reassembled and see if we can get it on the car today. I want to show you this, guys. So that's where the freeze plugs were. You see it is now tapped for a 1/2 inch MPT plug. This was Sean's idea. I originally was going to have him weld it, but he didn't like the idea of putting heat that close to the cam journal. So he said, let's just tap it and throw some plugs in. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just putting a little bit of glue on it and then cranking them down in. I went and torqued these in 3 steps per what Eric wanted. He wanted to go up, so we're at 85 pounds on our final torque. I did 30, 50, and then 85. So that's where we're at. Yeah, and then we got the valve covers too. I had Sean put some nice dash 10s on there, and we'll get a catch can to go over there. Not real happy with gun looking at this. I don't know if you guys can see the difference in height right there, but that means that the head, while it is flat, isn't flat in the way that it needs to be. So I'm gonna have to hope that that gasket pulls up the space there. The other thing is, been fighting trying to get the Holly to pick up on a cam signal, so we haven't got to run it sequential yet. It's been in bank to bank. So I've switched pulleys again. This is the backing plate and the pulley that was on it. This is the back of the pulley. I've put back on the mag sensor plate and pulley, but with a Hall sensor in its place. And then I did the same thing on the back of this. I ground down the lugs that I don't want, so that I'm only picking up once per rotation. It actually happens to be this lug right here. Looking at the gap just through the windows, it's a hell of a lot tighter than it was before. So hopefully we'll make some progress on that. I might have to repin the connector again. We'll find out. Another thing, if you guys didn't know, that dash 12 ANs, which is what my coolant line is also the same size as your standard garden hose. So I'm going to run some water through my coolant system here and flush it out. So there's that one. This one over here is just the valve, so it's open. We're going to let this stream for a bit. And also you can see that we don't have any water coming on top of our head, which is a good sign. It means at least with this low amount of pressure, no heat, no water is getting through at this point. So we'll check it again after we've run a cycle through it, gotten it hot, and see what it does then. We're looking good here. Here's our passenger side head, checking the same thing. No signs of water. So that's good. It appears our plugs are holding up so far. Alright, I got the plug there and the bleed off over here are closed. So we got all our water pressure running going through the entire coolant system. And our head still looks good. So that's significantly more pressure up on the head. Obviously it's not as much as when it's running, but still it pleases me to see this. Well, as best as I'm able to see, it looks like the flanges have seated flat. It's hard to tell, but we'll find out when we start her if she's got a leak or not. It'll let us know. We got both cars up here. Got gunmetal fixed up. His was never hurt. We just got to get her dialed in. We're doing the PSCA classes today. He's running Pro Import. I'm running XDR. And we're walking over there to the PSCA trailer for the driver's meeting. So stick with us. Alright guys, well the meeting didn't happen. We're now lined up for our first qualifier. I made two changes. Changed my launch RPM, moved it up to 5,500 from about 4,600, and then I also raised my tire pressure up back up to 14 pounds. pass. Car launched, fell on its face. We weren't sure why. Thought it may be a fuel issue, but I didn't have a data log because I didn't use my bump box to start my data log on the last pass. So we're just kind of shooting in the dark. However, coming down here, discovered that the clip for my number 5 coil was not seated. So that may be the source of our problems too. So we fixed that. We unhooked with the electric water pump because we think it's overdriving the system. And we're going to see what happens now. Make sure that I hit my bump box so that I have a data log. Alright guys, we're on day number 2. We did qualifying yesterday. I currently sit at 14 out of 18.
And Mr. I made Peterson. It 4th out of 5, so but it's a tough field.
Yeah. We didn't obviously get the numbers we wanted yesterday, but
still was a good day.
Problems have been fixed and addressed, we hope.
Learned a lot about the cars yesterday.
So we're getting ready to do the drivers meeting here in a few minutes, and we'll see how the rest of the day progresses. Let's go for 8s and 9s.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
And I get paired up against Brent first round. Awesome.
Brent is driving the Martin Pro car today, so.
Old school against old school.
Yep, there we go. All right, guys. See you in a bit. All right, guys. I drew my buddy Brandon McBride. He's got a 1974 Nissan Skyline. It is still right-hand drive. However, it's got a 471X motor in it, twin turbo. He has gone 4s in the 8. I have yet to get into the 5s. So there's a big discrepancy in time between the two cars. However,
luck is on our side.
I have lower power. The track wasn't all there yesterday. I hooked better than he has been. So if I can get out on him, there is a chance.
Did you switch your tune over? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I changed the safety completely. It's not even the same safety anymore.
Okay.
Now it has to be at 50 pounds for more than a second before the safety will come on.
Fuck, I'll never do that.
No. Something just broke, guys. I got oil on my windshield.
You alright, man?
Yeah, oil.
Oil?
That's oil.
Water.
Is it? Well, something got under my wheels. That feels oil to me. That sucks, guys. I guess the new motor's going in some point this week. Eric is continuing on. He beat Brent in the Martin Pro car. I'll show you. See if you can see some of the carnage here. There's water and a little bit of oil on everything. Got it back in there. So she's popped somewhere. Don't know exactly where. Figure it out. It's all good. I want to get the car ready to run next weekend for Street Car Takeover. Did not epoxy the other block, and I don't really have time to, so I'm just gonna put the pistons and rods in that other block, get it going, and get it in the car. Make sure we don't get above 30 pounds, because that's what happened here. We got to around 34 pounds of boost, and she let go. So we'll fix, we'll solve that problem when we know exactly what failed. But we know that we got to stay below 30 pounds on the other motor. And so that's what we'll do. We'll run street car and see if we can't get some, at the very least mid 9-second passes next weekend. Should be able to do that. So that's for that. I'm going to set this up and see if we can't get the car started. Trying to get the car to stop. You'll see in the ride along video that it hops around both ways and got pretty close to the wall. And trying to get it stopped though, I broke one of my wheel studs off on my driver's side. So this is in close to the hub. This is the outside. So I'm gonna have to fix that now too. That's less of a deal. They're Allens, so they thread right in pretty easy. I've got nothing obscuring it. So that's where it is. All right, so Eric's done preparing his car.
We made it through round one. Somehow the racing gods came in my favor. Brent's car broke. We still had a good pass, 10.3 at 146. I think that's my best mile per hour actually so far. Yeah. So we were 144, 145 on the 10.2. So mile per hour picked up. ET still about the same. Put some more boost in it. We're paired against an 890 car, so just cross the fingers for an uh-oh.
Jamie driving the brother-in-law damn near got a 10-second pass. Roman's Grinch. What do you think about that last pass, man?
Mine?
Yeah.
That was better than it has been. It still went right.
10.
Yeah, it still went right. And it was still turned down.
You drove the crap out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just grabbed it and just held left with that arm. So the shifts were a lot better that time too. So fed it some power and see what it does now.
All right, round 2 is coming up.
Yep.
Yep, got to figure this out.
think we finally hurt the tranny in the GSR. So I think it's finally time to pull the tranny and at least put some carbon synchros or something in it just to get us by. The teeth are good. So it's not wiped, but we definitely hurt the tranny after 7 years. So I can't complain. We just need a dog box. So it's a good event.
So with that, his car is good to go in terms of running, the new transmission. My car, everything from the transmission back is good to go. So mine ran and drove on the trailer. So we'll spend this week getting these 2 cars ready for the next weekend and see what we can't do. But we're gonna leave it here, so have a good one. We'll see you in the next video.